there used to be an ongoing meme that we would lose more people in Chicago in a day than we did in the Afghanistan war.
During the War on Terror, I remember this.
And it's true. That's been going on. Now, people forget. Go back to when Trump gave his very first victory speech. You remember all the commentators were saying it's about strength because he said, American carnage, the days of American carnage are over. So this shouldn't be a surprise to people. Trump's been talking about doing this for a long time. He talked about doing it when he was running the first time. He talked about possibly mobilizing the military to go into these places where we're losing more people than we were in legitimate wars. So I think it's a good idea. I would like to see more troops.
I'm curious how many of the 19 cities in question, how many of them have Democrat mayors?
Probably all of them.
Yeah. I mean,
so they asked him this question in the Oval Office earlier today, and they said, are you going to be sending troops to red cities? And he just gives the reporter a look like, what red cities? Does anyone know any reds? Can we name these red cities? Have you heard of these red cities? There are no red cities. And even in some of the large cities where you may nominally have a Republican mayor or, New York's got an independent right now, like the city is still blue. It's still very, very blue. The point being is they've allowed that, blueness or whatever, the liberalism and soft on crime approach, because you have to consider the rights and the interests of the criminal actually coming before the rights of tourists, citizens, children, family. Thinking about New York, but any of those people who actually have much more of a right to those streets than the criminal does.
Well, Look at like San Francisco. Look at many of these places where you have junkies in the street in a zombie-like state. You guys remember seeing all those videos?
Of course.
They're going through, they're scanning them, and these guys are just hanging there like it's like it's Night of the Living Dead.
I'm from the Philly area, and we've got a place like that called Kensington, and they actually refer to it now as Kensington Beach. And you can go on Instagram and find like Kensington Beach accounts or whatever, and you can get like T-shirts that say Kensington Beach, because there are so many people laying out that it looks like they're at the beach because it looks like they're suntanning or something.
Well, let me ask you something. Don't you consider it? I know it's not constitutional treason, but in your mind, isn't it somewhat treasonous that the mayors of these cities and governors of these states essentially are soft on crime in order to placate a minority group whose votes they want? It's part of them bribing the electorate, right? And so the idea that, hey, I'm going to send the military in because you won't do your job, which we saw during the California riots. I watched them every single night live, covered them on multiple cameras. We were watching them get into fights with the police, burning the squad cars, setting fires. We would call it dumpster mode, the next dumpster mode, when they would put the dumpsters up and start fighting, right? They told the police, obviously, to stand down. We were watching it. They told them, stand down, don't do anything, right? Let them do what they're doing until Trump sent in the Marines. And that put a stop to it. And their little day of rage didn't really go off as well as they had hoped because there was some military there taking care of it. And it's like, at some point, we're going to have to look at this and say, if these guys won't enforce the laws, and we're losing, 4, 6, 10, 12, 16 people a day, eventually someone's going to have to put an end to the carnage.
How much do you think that it's about the voters in the specific metropolitan areas or whatever, and versus how much do you think it's about actually placating people in a PR move? Because I feel like
it's both.
Because I feel like
it's not one's not excluding the other. The thing is Democrats work in unison for national campaign PR. You're right about that. There's no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. But you still also have your localized elections. And the truth is that they are pandering to minority groups as much as possible for lighter sentences, things like this. So they seem to want to move towards rehabilitation, even though there's no rehabilitation going on.
In Philadelphia, no matter how bad the murder rate has gotten, Larry Krasner, the Soros DA, just keeps getting reelected over and over and over. So I think this speaks to what you're saying, that it's in a very odd way of putting it, they keep voting for murder.
Wouldn't that be a lot of that have to do with outside money and outside influence, though?
Yeah, NGOs, of course. NGOs are involved.
Well, he's a Soros DA.
Yeah.
NGOs are always involved in this. You know what I mean? But the question here, what we're moving down to is this. If these people will not stop this, if these Democrats won't stop it, How does it get stopped?
Part of the reason why I asked that and I push back on the idea is just because you see so many videos coming out of DC where people that are actual residents that are like, this is great. I can drive around in my car with the window open in the summer and I don't feel like I'm going to get carjacked. I don't feel like blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of people that are posting these things on the internet saying, look, it's much safer. And I know that the people that are most upset about crime in an area are the people that live there.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.